All right, everybody. Here we are. We are back again
We
for
are.
episode 11.
Wow.
I know. The season's flying by.
We've already had 11 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had 10, but we
10,
had
yeah.
our bye week way
Yeah.
early, unfortunately. So we don't even have that to look forward to right now.
Yeah.
Well, we've had our share of losses this year, but this one was bad.
Yep.
This one, I don't know if it felt the worst, but
It was
did not
close.
feel great.
It felt the worst to me.
Yeah. I think it's more so just because like we had it. It was there.
Yeah.
And then we kicked it off.
Yeah.
And what gets me is like why did we give them the opportunity to return?
Kick it into the end zone. Kick it out.
Kick it out of bounds.
I said kick it through the end zone. I was mad. Like and I love Will. But I don't know why you'd give the only thing I could think of, the only thing is that maybe by kicking it at an angle and letting them get a return, you're going to take some time off the clock, a few seconds, and if your coverage team does what it's supposed to do, they may stop them at the 25, and now it's like they're at the 25 and they took 5 seconds off the clock. So
the only thing that like crushes that is the fact that we used our timeouts to like stop the clock.
Which was the other part of why were we using our timeouts?
Because they had the ball on the 40 and we were hoping to get the ball back because we figured they were going to kick the field goal.
I don't think that's a logical choice in my thought. It is let them use theirs first.
Yeah, I can't agree more. Like, but they were at the 40, and the first two downs we did okay. So you're right. Why would we waste ours? Let them call it because they still have a 57-yard field goal.
Yep.
So I agree there. Let them call it. Don't let him. And if they want to let the clock run down, that's all well and good because they're on the 40-yard line. And one bad play, and now you're out of field goal range.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you lose. So good logic. I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Let's get right into it. Dan.
Yeah.
Dan. Get offensive. Be as offensive as you want right now.
I mean, it was another lackluster performance by JJ. And I had picked him as my X factor and he did not perform. I had another 2 interception game. 16 for 32, 150 yards, 1 TD, and 2 interceptions. And his throwing accuracy has not been where it needs to be in the NFL.
Nope.
It's not as good as what we saw from him in college. It's not as good as what we've seen from him prior. His consistency with his ball delivery is very poor. And not what you see from someone who you are banking on being your long-term quarterback, your franchise quarterback. You drafted this kid to, go the distance, and he's not delivering on a consistent basis. He's not delivering.
I'm not giving him a pass for having one good drive at the end of the game.
Yep. No, we're not fourth quarter. You can't be a fourth quarter hero and still be inconsistent. You're not going to win games that way.
If you're consistent for the first 3 quarters, you don't need to be a fourth quarter hero.
Yeah. Yep. And even then, like, it's not like you see all these fourth quarter hero drives from Brady and Rodgers and Josh Allen, who just like fourth quarter, they pull it together. But they've also been consistent throughout the entire game.
That's right.
I mean, Josh Allen was consistent his sophomore year on, not his rookie year.
But he wasn't this bad.
He was
Really?
Yes, he was.
Oh my
Because
God.
people were consistently saying, oh my gosh, they got the worst quarterback in the draft. Josh Allen's awful. Like, Josh Allen can't. Diggs is going to hate going there because he's going to overthrow him.
Well, if this is what it takes,
I remember.
McCarthy's the worst quarterback of the draft. He's awful. We shouldn't have taken him. Jefferson's not going to stay because of it.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Keep going. Keep going.
But it really is. He's got to do something to show everyone that he belongs there, and he's not been showing that.
You can't have interceptions in every one of your starts and multiples in 3 of the 5. No,
and
good.
they're not like oopsie. They're not like it's random chuck ups that are like, why?
Well, let's go through the 2 he had on Sunday. The first one, he felt the pressure and he just threw the ball. Instead of throwing it towards the sidelines, he threw it in the middle of the field, hoping his arm strength was going to be enough to get it there. Bad idea.
Yeah.
The second one, he stared down Addison. He stared him down. Watch it. Watch it. He watched him from off the line of scrimmage from the snap, stared him down, and thought he was going to throw the ball over the cornerback. That was his plan.
Yeah.
Took at least 3 points off the board right there.
Yep.
Because he thought he was going to be able to do something that anybody else said, nah, you're never going to be able to pull this off.
Yep. Not in the NFL. You might be able to do it in college.
Right. He's got to learn that. He's got to learn that. This is not college where he got away with some of this stuff.
Yep.
And if he doesn't, then the Vikings are going to be looking to fill in void next year right away.
Yeah. And a lot of that's like, you can't stare guys down.
No. And he does.
Yep. And it's like, I get there's a rookie thing, but like you get punished for that in college too. If you're staring guys down, you're going to get punished for it.
Somebody's going to pick it up. He's just doing so many bad things and he's not advancing. He's not getting any better at it. He's not learning from his mistakes. He just continues to make them.
I'm going to add something because I'm going to challenge the fact that he's not learning from his mistakes because his huddles are better. Making decisions are better. And making decisions as in like not getting a sack. Those are getting better. And the worst part, which this got worse on the caveat, he did have an injured hand on Sunday.
His offhand.
No, his throwing hand.
What was his throwing hand?
His throwing hand had a wrap on it on Sunday. So that was his worst aiming game or his worst game throwing the ball. And it was hurt. But everything else wasn't. Everything else has showed improvement. It's just once one thing shows improvement, then it opens up another thing that's bad. So he is showing improvement on some things, and then it opens up more issues. But he did have a wrap on his hand on Sunday, which could account for the fact that he way overthrew. Because he wasn't doing that in the beginning of the season. Like, he wasn't way overthrowing people in the beginning of the season. He was just staring down his receiver and throwing the ball. He wasn't overthrowing people. That was Carson Wentz. That was Carson Wentz.
No, the last couple games, he's been overthrowing Jets a lot.
Yeah, ask Jets. I'm sure Jets will agree with Dan.
Yeah. I think ball's consistently behind him and 2 feet over.
Yeah, but he's been getting to Naylor. He'd been getting to Addison. Perfect throws up until this game. It's just been Justin Jefferson this game or previously.
But and let's talk about where was Naylor on Sunday? Where was Naylor on Sunday? His favorite target from a week before got 1 target.
Right.
Yep.
Is he forcing the ball into Jets now? Is that one of his problems? That Jets is frustrated, so he's trying to appease him by looking to him more? Because that's not helping, because Jets is even getting more frustrated at some of the throws.
Well, and not only is he getting more frustrated at some of the throws, he's also wide open when he's looking for the deep throws. Like, he's looking for the deep throw to Addison, overthrows and gets an interception when Justin Jefferson was wide open.
He's not. Well, again, that's part of the whole staring down your primary.
I think KOC needs to simplify the offense, because what happens when you simplify the offense? No.
It's going.
They simplified the offense
in
the last, and they got a touchdown.
This is that missing Jets as being open is a progression thing.
Yes. So simplify the offense.
No, how do you 1, 2, 3? You check 1, you check 2, you check 3. If 1's not open, you go to 2. If 2 is not open, you go to 3.
But stop waiting for the first read to be the long ball.
That's not making things simplified. That's making things that's reducing the number of options.
Isn't that making it simplified?
No, because it increases the defenders on the other guys.
But make the long throw the third read.
It's not a simplification matter. It's a matter of making the right
literally
decision.
Every podcast person I have talked to has said that they need to simplify the offense.
I don't think it's
every single both Locked On Vikings, all of the Locked On Viking people think they need to simplify the offense, and Purple Insider
disagree with them too. It's not a matter of simplifying it. He knows the offense. He knows the routes. Simplifying it gets rid of route options.
Exactly.
Right. And so
because he's making the wrong calls and he's staring them down.
No.
And
he's staring them down, but no, that's
he has the open wide receivers.
That's a technique issue. What you're talking about simplifying is reducing the number of route options that the receivers can run based on the defensive coverage. So when a receiver lines up against a guy, whether he's playing right up on him in press defense, whether he's 5 yards back, 10 yards back, and that coverage determines the route that he's going to run. He sees it, the quarterback sees it, and then that is settled before the ball is snapped, right? Simplifying it reduces the number of options based on the defensive coverage, right? It's not a matter of simplifying the offense for him, because it's not like, Jets is seeing, I'm going to run a 10-yard post route, and then JJ throws a 10-yard out route. Like, he's not throwing the ball to the incorrect spot, like way off in the incorrect spot. Like
he is throwing the ball way off from JJ, or he's just not throwing the ball to a wide open JJ.
But I'm saying he's throwing the correct routes. They're just bad throws. There's bad technique
because he's not reading it correctly.
He's not setting his feet. He's not reading the pressure. He's not getting out of the pocket. He's staring down his receivers. All of this stuff is like a quarterback technique thing, not an offensive simplification. An offensive simplification says reduce the number of things you have to remember that the receivers are going to run for routes.
Yes.
And it doesn't need to be simplified because he's not throwing the incorrect routes. He's just making bad throws.
And bad reads.
Right. And that's not a simplification.
So stop making it more complicated and simplify it so he can have more
it won't change it. It won't change it.
He still has to have options. He still has to have options to look at on the receivers. So I don't know how you simplify. I mean, I'm all for simplifying it if somebody can define what they mean by simplify it.
Right. Like you're even in college, this is introduced as like, you've got to start to know this. They reduce the number of receivers, but when a quarterback, so what you're talking about is that, like, what I'm talking about anyways, is when a quarterback throws a ball, not 2 or 3 feet over his head. I'm talking like 10 feet over his head, because he thought that his receiver was going to run, a go route up the field, and the receiver ran an out or a hook or something and stopped and turned around. So he sails the ball over his head because he thought he was running a go route. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening on the routes with JJ or with any of them. He's just making bad decisions and bad accuracy throws. And that's not a simplification thing. If somebody wants to talk about simplifying the offense, then explain what they mean by simplifying it. Because what are you supposed to do in the NFL when it's like you're not seeing the open guy? Well, that's a technique thing. It's not let's make it simple. Like, you're going to throw it to Jets. Okay, well, now Jets is double covered. Are you still going to throw it to him? like what is meant by simplifying it, because what you're saying as far as simplifying is not what needs to happen, in my opinion. What needs to happen, in my opinion, is he needs to buckle down and figure out, like, go back to fundamental quarterback techniques of, go through your progressions. You're not like, when you start, say you're on a 5-step drop, as you drop back, you don't check your number 1 route until you reach your 5th step. In that meantime, while you're working back, you're watching your number 2 or 3 to see, or you're just watching the defense in general to see if they've shifted or moved from after the ball is snapped. So you get your 5th step, you check your number 1 route, which you can normally know what's happening on that number 1 route on your 5th step based off reading the defense. So you hit that 5th step, you look to make sure it's there, and you chuck it. If it's not there, you go back to your 2, you go back to your 3, or by the time you get to your 5th step, you've seen the defense shift. So now you can see, you already know by the time you get there which route you're going to throw.
Okay, so I don't know all the technical terms on how to explain what Dan is talking about, but what they're talking about is when each wide receiver is running a route, there's so many like technical pieces that each wide receiver is here and then goes here, but then it's here and then he crosses over. I don't know the technical terms, so do not argue with me on those. But so you go here and then you cross over, and here and you cross over, but he is staring there and he's forgetting about the other aspects of what JJ's doing. He's forgetting that, oh, JJ is supposed to cross over here because he's watching Addison. So you need to simplify, as in like simplify it so that he knows that JJ is not going to be making 3 jukey steps when then, oh, there's an open Justin Jefferson. So there's so many moving parts, and there's too many moving parts all at the same time.
You know what
that they need to
I would
simplify.
sit there and tell them, welcome to the NFL.
Right, but it's not working. He's not doing well.
No,
he's not doing well. So
because-
you have
so
to make it so that he can succeed,
well,
and then he can progress to make it
so
more difficult.
I say welcome to the NFL, because
Then this is going to keep happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Until he either learns how to read go through his progressions, or somebody else quarterbacks the team,
or somebody else is a quarterback. Because it's not a matter of like, yes,
why not work your way there?
He's staring down Addison because him and Addison do have a connection. Him and Naylor do have a connection, right? But the fact of the matter is that he's staring Addison down. He's not going through his progressions. He should, like, there should never be a stare down by a quarterback.
I get that. You can stop repeating that, but like feel like we're talking about 2 different things.
I don't think we are.
Cora is trying to say, I think, instead of having routes run where they make 2 or 3 cuts on the route, simplify the routes to 1 or no cuts. So make it a child's offense from Pee Wee football.
Yeah.
For an NFL quarterback who's getting made a lot of money to learn how to read real routes. Now, I know I just sounded really condescending and crappy like that, but that's what we're talking about here.
We need training wheels on him because he's not doing well. He's doing bad. How do you build confidence?
If
you don't keep doing the same thing. Hold on, pause.
It's just my segment.
Let me finish.
You'll have your own segment.
Wait on the defensive segment and Dan starts ripping on yours.
If you simplify, like, this is defense, right? If you simplify it like that, no one will be open. No one will be open.
They'll figure that out
They'll figure it out.
About 2 drives into the game, they'll figure that out.
Not even 2 drives. Like, I'd give it 1 drive and 2 plays into that.
The 2-minute drill is not a complicated offense.
That's because it's pre-rehearsed. Like, you know what you're running in the 2-minute drill, play to play to play to play. Like, you cannot do that in the NFL for a full game and be successful, because even the start of the game, KOC scripts his first 20 plays.
And it's awful.
And then looks what happens afterwards. It goes to more shit.
But the 2-minute drill has been successful in most games.
Yeah, at the 4th quarter, when the defense is playing a little softer, playing more of a prevent defense, and so more things become open because they're just trying to prevent movement. So it's the bend don't break mentality on defense in the 2-minute drill.
How do you build confidence in someone? You keep throwing hard things at them, and they keep failing
When
and
you're
failing
in
and
the
failing
NFL,
and failing.
when you're in the NFL, yes, it is.
He's a 22-year-old boy.
Exactly. He's got to learn. You got to pick it up. Welcome to the big leagues.
Right. But at the same time, what does KOC say? The NFL fails new quarterbacks before they even get a chance.
Well, then he's been failing them all year.
All NFL teams do. They fail rookie quarterbacks before they even get a chance.
But he's not showing the growth you would expect out of a rookie quarterback.
So simplify.
What do you mean exactly? It's not. You can't simplify it.
Build his confidence.
You with a peewee offense.
If that's what it takes,
he will get wrecked and he'll throw more interceptions.
How do you know?
Because it's too simple for the defense. The defense will pick up on it and walk through it like cake.
Then switch it up.
And make it.
Now you're going back to making a complex offense.
No, switch up the plays.
It won't matter. If the receivers don't have options on routes, like route options based on the defensive coverage, then they're basically never gonna be open.
They're like, he's not throwing them to him anyways.
So then what's it matter? Because now it goes back to technique, because he's not throwing it to them anyways. He's not going through his progressions.
Correct.
If he goes through his progressions, you don't have to simplify it. If he goes through the basic fundamentals of don't stare down your receivers, get to your fifth drop and find your receivers and go through your reads. Go through your progressions, right? Set your feet, make a good throw. If all that isn't there in the first 2 seconds you get to your drop, get the F out of the dodge and get out of the pocket. Or throw to your dump off, your little banana or little, I forget what it's called, little route, the running back runs off to the side.
Or little swing routes.
Swing route. And it's like, those are basic things that he's not doing. And that's the thing, is that he has to do these. And that's not a matter of simplifying what everybody else is doing. Because that's not the issue. The complexity of what the receivers are doing is not the issue. Is he's not completing the basic things he needs to do in order to be a successful quarterback in the NFL.
Because it's complex.
And that's did I just list complex things for him to do?
He's just not seeing what's in front of him, and that's the bottom line. He's made throws on plays when he could run for 15 yards for a first down. You know, he's not seeing what's going on in front of him.
Did you just not get enough dopamine tonight, or like what's the deal? Because you are very argumentative. And he's making a good point.
You're being
offensive. And you're like, you can fix.
Because you're being offensive.
Sorry. I'm sorry. We're in a chat. We're fighting. Anyways, yes, he did take 0 sacks. It was very good to see from our offensive line this week that they were able to provide protection. And he did do a better job of reading the pressure that was coming in, but I think it was more to the fact that he was getting rid of the ball quicker. He was not holding on to it. Yeah, the interception where he got ran into. The interception where he got ran into was the one time where I think he held on to it too long. He needed to get rid of that ball sooner.
Yep.
And I think if he does, he makes a stronger throw, and that may or may not end up an interception, but it was one of, when he was making the throw, he was, eyes closed, chucking it. But our offensive line, I think, performed as expected.
We only had one false start.
Which is much better
for the whole game. It was a good showing from them. It was a good showing from Aaron Jones and Mason ran the ball 22 times, and we were successful with it.
And we need to run the ball more.
And
we're still not running it enough. I agree.
We're still not running it enough.
It's VR.
If you wanna help build his confidence, develop a really solid running game that takes pressure off of the receivers. And
Why is Ham not involved more?
He's a fullback.
That
He's
is not
hurt.
an excuse because
He missed a lot of games early in the year, though.
He's been
He was
involved
injured at the start of the year.
but he's been involved every year.
Yeah, but he I don't know what kind of injury he had.
I mean, he's in the games now. Why isn't he involved more?
Blocking more. I don't know.
Because they only run the ball 22 times.
Yeah.
But like he used to get the ball thrown to him.
Well, and I thought Mason should have got the ball more too. But
Man,
maybe they should get him more involved.
And you know what? Our receivers need to catch the freaking ball.
They had 5 drops. I think it might have been more than 5, but I know they had at least 5 drops. Was it 6? And
I think it was 6 with like 4 contested that should have been.
There weren't many.
I don't know.
There weren't very many. Like it was like legitimate. They normally make those catches.
Addison had 2 catches on 7 targets.
Well, I will say the ones by Hawkinson that's kind of typical Hawkinson for the past year or two.
What is up with him?
Well, at least for the past year.
I know, like past 2 years.
Yeah.
When did we first get him? I feel like his first year with us was great, and then after that, it's been kind of not great.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder what the difference is. Who quarterbacked him the first year we had?
But even when.
Oh, it's not even that. It's not even
Kirk
like he
Cousins
quarterbacked him.
was with him also other years.
Well, but I'm saying it's like it hasn't been so much of that as like he's dropping balls, like balls that are catchable balls.
Yeah, he's definitely not.
He's not catching. Balls that he was catching that first year. It was we're just not seeing that same performance out of him. So
I mean, to be honest, when the draft came around, and I knew it wouldn't happen, but I was hoping it would. I was hoping to see Ty Warren slip to the Vikings somehow.
Yeah.
And that they would have taken him, because that's where they need to go. They need a kid with good hands at tight end who can be a reliable target. I knew Warren was going to be just a beast in this league, and he has been. He has been as a rookie, and he can do so many things. And Hawk, I really liked when they got him, but he has fallen way off.
Yeah. Q, I think
so
we can stay with him, but we gotta figure out he's got to show some improvement on just fundamental quarterbacking. I think we'll probably, like, with where we're at with our record, is we'll stick with him for the rest of the year. And I think we'll probably, like, if there's quality improvement with him, I think we'll see him more next year. Otherwise, he might be on the chopping block next year if he doesn't show quality improvement in his performance this year.
And let me say one more thing, and then we really should get to Cora's segment.
Yeah. Well, she took up half of mine. So.
Well, Dustin wrote a nice article about what the Vikings may end up doing at quarterback if things don't get better this year. So if you follow Dustin Baker, go find his article and read it. It's some interesting stuff there about options the Vikings would have should the McCarthy experiment go bust. Should it become Christian Ponder 2.1? So just something to think about.
All right.
So Hawkinson only had Kirk Cousins for like half a season.
Kirk just seemed to look for him, though.
That was when he tore his Achilles.
That's right. Well, it just seemed like Kirk was always looking for him, and nobody else since has really targeted him.
That's who had Hawkinson.
Josh
Dobbs and Mullins. Man, those were the days.
When we're reminiscing about Dobbs and Mullins, there's a problem.
Yeah. You know things are bad.
All right, Cora, get defensive. Talk something that was a little bit better on Sunday, but then I'm going to have some things to say about the defense too.
So the defense is doing enough for the offense to win games. They're doing enough. Are they winning games for the offense? No. Are they making it super easy for a struggling offense? Also, no. Are they doing enough that a quarterback could win with this defense? Yes. And I think that, like, the beginning of the game, they're doing more than enough. And it's just once it gets to the third quarter, because they're tired, they start to struggle. And the morale drops because their offense is just not doing anything. And I will say, I do feel like there's not that gridiron defense with B-Flow as there was under Zim in the prime Zim years. They never took the gas off. And I do feel like once it gets to like the second half of the second half, they are taking the gas off. And they're just tired. And I think that there is something weird in the locker room. It just doesn't seem like either side, the stars, they're tackling high. Normally they don't tackle high, or they normally get turnover. I just think the locker room's off. And I think I'm going to blame it on Carson Wentz, because I said it in the beginning of the season that he creates toxic locker rooms and has every single year, because he's been in 6 teams in 6 years. And that is his critique always, that he is not a locker room guy. And I think that was a mistake. And him coming in set the vibes off on a weird note to start, and they haven't gotten back.
I didn't like the pick. I was against that from the start. I didn't want him either.
So the defense isn't bad. They're not bad. They're average, and they're doing enough for a team to win. We're just not winning.
I semi-disagree. Our defense is like a bakery that's ready to go out of business. Ain't no turnovers. If you aren't, they're not turning the ball over. And they can blame being tired, but guess what? In the first and second quarter, they're not getting the turnovers either. They're not getting them. You're not getting yourselves out the field.
But they are holding them to 3.
Yeah,
they are holding them to 0.
But
they are blocking punt. They are blocking kicks. They are blocking punts.
You're still on the field longer by not getting turnovers.
Right, but they are still holding them to fewer points. They're not allowing touchdowns.
They're not putting the offense in positions to have short fields either.
I mean, they're still not allowing points.
They're not, but there's other things than not allowing points. That both sides have to work with each other, right? If you're playing just okay defense where, we're stopping them at midfield and they're punting and pinning us deep with an offense that can't move the ball, guess what? You're going to be back on the field and they're going to be starting at the 40.
Also, the offense isn't helping them by throwing interceptions and putting them in super
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if you're not getting turnovers on your end either, it's not helping. I mean,
sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to join the chat, and we can't join the chat on our end.
They're okay. They're fine.
They're okay.
But what we talk about almost every week, B-Flow's defense, the 2 big things are sacks and turnovers, and he's not getting either of them.
They're not tackling low.
Well, even when they are, they're not getting a good hold. They're not grabbing legs.
We have also faced some of the most elusive quarterbacks in the NFL.
Oh, well, I mean, Lamar didn't get that many. They held Lamar in check. He didn't run on them.
Caleb Williams.
He didn't really run on them.
Yes, but he got away. He got out of, he juked him out. And not all quarterbacks are that elusive. I will say that.
Caleb Williams.
You know, Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy had similar completion percentages.
Yeah, they were about the same.
Same.
They were actually identical, except two of McCarthy's balls that were caught by the defense.
And most of Caleb Williams, like incompletions, were like him throwing it away instead of,
saving yards.
Literally throwing it away.
Right. Saving yards, which is important. You got to get turnovers. I will not give the defense a pass because they're not doing their full job.
They're not doing their full job, but they're doing enough to win. And our offense is not the insane thing is that we are still in games in the fourth quarter with how atrocious our offense is playing. Honest to goodness, we should have not been in half. We should not have been that close in the Ravens game. We should not been that close in the Bears game. And largely we were that close because of the defense. They are putting us in positions to be able to come back. And we are not. We are not completing. Now, they're not great. They are not awful.
But maybe I am putting too much on their shoulders. But I just find it hard to win when you're not winning the turnover battle. And part of that's on the offense from not protecting the ball. But when your defense is getting 0 turnovers in a game, it's really hard.
What bothers me more with our defense is that I kind of think we have like one of the worst like 3rd and long defenses.
Terrible. Awful.
4th and short defenses. We have to have the worst.
No, I think that's kind of like we struggle with it.
Every time it's 4th down, they allow it. They get a first down every single time.
That's
100%.
allowed against a lot of other.
No.
I think we're a middle of the pack defense on 4th down, and I don't think we're the worst on that.
Have we held a 4th down?
Yeah.
1?
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
No.
And then I think the bigger thing is that like when it's 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 23, you can't give up 21 yards or 22 yards.
That's it. They did it on Sunday. They had a 3rd and 12, gave up the first down. They had a 3rd and 14, gave up the first down. They had a 2nd and 25, and on the next play, gave up 23 yards.
Yep. And what gets me is like a lot of these larger yardage chunks and passes come when there's that, like for whatever reason, there's this massive hole right in the middle of the field on our defensive coverage. And it's like, this happens too much.
And yet they still only hold them to 3 points.
But it's like, that shouldn't even happen. They shouldn't even get points on that. They shouldn't even get there. Like why do we not have someone, like we're in a zone defense and we have this massive hole in the middle and it gets picked on all the time.
They're easy completions. There's nobody there.
And it's by every team. Every team does it.
They run to the middle of the field, find a dead spot, and they sit there. They sit and they turn around and they square up and they make easy catches uncontested. That can't happen.
So the reason I also found out the reason they tackle high is because they're trying to get the turnover. Because they're trying to like punch the ball out. And they're trying to force a fumble. And they're not tackling low because it's harder to punch the ball out when you tackle low than it is when you tackle high.
Yeah, but we can't do that one-on-one. There's got to be 2 guys making the hit. If you're doing it one-on-one, it's terrible. It's not going to work.
But when you say that they're not getting turnovers, they sure are trying because they're tackling high. They're just not, it's just not going their way. Where like every other year, it went our way. This year, it's not. And they just need to stop trying to tackle high. They need to stop trying to get turnovers and just play good defense. Because their tackles are so awful. It is ridiculous. They need to stop trying to turn the ball over and just freaking tackle. Because they're not. We should, like, who was it? Was it Montgomery, where he literally ran with the pile? Or no, it's Swift. Ran with the pile.
Yeah.
And they didn't tackle him to the ground because they were trying to punch the ball out. And he still had enough momentum on his feet to keep charging forward. What are we doing? Tackle him low.
There should be at least one guy whose sole purpose is to bring him to the ground. And
First side of the ball.
And if there's somebody else who gets in there, wants to punch at it, that's all well and good. But if all three guys who are hitting and running back are all trying to punch the ball out, that's not going to work.
No.
Let's go back to Pee Wee football here. That's what I teach fourth graders. That's what I teach fourth graders. First guy to the ball tackles him, wrap him up, wrap his thighs up, start bringing him down. If second guy gets there in time, get the ball out.
And that's what you're seeing. That's what teams that get turnovers do. They're gang tackling, and they're guys that are designated, bring him to the ground. And while he's going down, hey, if you're not doing anything, get over there and start punching at the ball while he's going down.
Yeah, but if you're first guy to the ball,
like three guys are hitting him, and they're all punching at the ball. Like, no. Yeah, that's wrong. It's bad.
Doesn't work.
And that reflects on your coach. Your coach has to say something about that.
Yep.
And your coach has to come up with a defense that doesn't leave a wide open cushion in the middle of the field on 3rd and long.
For against every team.
Yep.
And it was there last year too. That's what I don't get it. It's not tricking anybody. It's not fooling anybody. And it's like it's consistently there.
Prevent defense only works when you can tackle.
Yeah, and their tackling is terrible. So as much as we're saying, they're playing good enough to win, are they really? Though?
Yes. Because if we were to score another touchdown any of those times, we would have won.
But there's a lot there that it's like,
because it's so close.
A lot of those, we hold them to 3. Well, they shouldn't have even made it that far.
But we're still in games. But we're still in games. Like, we are still in games to the fourth quarter for how awful our offense is playing.
It's very weird that we're still in games. Yeah. But because
I'm not saying that they're doing a great job. They are doing enough that we could have been winning some of these games.
It's hard to believe.
It's just awful.
It's hard to believe that with a really bad offense and a mediocre defense, we're in games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I'm going to say it's a mediocre defense because they're not doing everything they need to do.
Our record reflects a bad offense and a mediocre defense.
4-6. Yeah, you're right. That's right about where you should be, about near 500.
Yep. And it's like if you have a mediocre offense, mediocre defense, you might be above that 500 mark. But
like where we were with
that
Cousins.
Offense and mediocre we're just under 500, and it's like, yeah, it tracks.
The Vikings are an every other year team.
It's not even that.
No, we literally are. Every other year we do well.
Under
every other year we do bad.
Under O'Connell, yes. But we talked about this last week. It seemed like we were an every other year team, but we really weren't under Zim. Zim didn't make the playoffs
every other year I felt like we were like there were years where we were vying heavier, and then like 2018 was worse than 2017. 2016 was worse than 2017. And then 2019 was better than 2018. But like our success was, we always made the playoffs, where these last few years we haven't been making the playoffs in our bad years. So I think under Zim, our off years we're still making the playoffs, and our on years we're going deeper.
We weren't though.
But
it actually you would think that, but when I did the research on it, they weren't. We thought they were, but they weren't making the playoffs as much as we thought.
Under Zim?
Under Zim. I thought the same thing, but it's like, oh, we really aren't.
Because I feel like we only missed the playoffs like 2 years.
Oh no, that is definitely.
Zimmer made the playoffs 3 times in his 8 seasons.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
Yeah, Zim was 3 of 8.
But it was his 2 seasons, because when did Kirk Cousins come? Kirk Cousins came in 2019.
Yep.
He made it in 15, didn't make it 16. Made it in 17, didn't make it in 18. Made it in 19. Didn't make it in 2020. So it's been on and off.
I have the stuff from last week, but yeah, he only made it 3 out of 8 years.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's arguing that it was every other. You're arguing that we didn't make it as much as we thought we did.
Yeah.
You're arguing 2 different points. We did make it every other year, but we did only make it 3 out of 8 times with Zimmer.
Yes.
We didn't make it all the time.
But we are every other year for the Vikings. We have on years and off years because it is the 15, 17, 19.
Yeah. You're both right.
We're not a consistent contender.
No.
And that's something that Minnesota hasn't had in a long time.
What's frustrating is I think we have the weapons on offense to be a team that should threaten every year, but we lack the offensive line protection, or they can't stay healthy, or we lack the consistent performance of a quarterback that's going to get us there, or the times we do have a consistent or semi-consistent quarterback, our defense is underperforming and not where they need to be to keep us in games. And it's like, no matter, like, we have the weapons that we should be there, but we're missing all the other key components of a team that makes it there. Like we have, and we, like, what's crazy is we have some of the best wide receiver. In my opinion, I think we have the best wide receiver core out of any team in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, if we're not the best, we're top 3. And what hurts us is a consistent quarterback. But even when we have a consistent quarterback and they're getting tons of yards and tons of receptions and tons of touchdowns, is our defense is lackluster.
Right.
And it's like we have it there for on our offensive side. If we find a consistent quarterback, then we just need our defense to be mediocre. And it's just not there. Like it's not all coming together at the right time.
No.
And that's really is what it is we're just lacking key components that don't get us there.
Even in some of our playoff years, we didn't have complete teams.
Yeah.
I think the most complete team we had, like 2017.
I think last year with Darnold.
Fair.
I think that's been in the Zimmer and KOC era.
It's the same issue that we're having now, is that the middle of the field is always open. That was an issue last year.
But it's that mediocre. Is like you can do it, and it's just, I think we just had a few missed opportunities that we didn't take advantage of or capitalize on last year. But I think out of the KOC and the Zimmer era, I think last year was the best combination of the key components that you need to make it.
I would say 17.
In the last 20 years, the most consistent team we had was the Favre team.
Fair.
I think the Favre team was probably the most complete team we've had in the past 20 years.
Yeah. I feel like 20 makes it too far back.
Well, if we don't want to go back that far, I mean, where are we going to go? To the miracle year when we won how many games by the skin of our teeth, where we took a 61-yard field goal to beat the Giants, and
17. Isn't Favre more than 20 years?
2009 was Favre.
We're not that old.
Oh, that's fair. I was thinking he was like 2005 or 2000.
I mean, I am, but no.
I was thinking he was
Well, I
2005.
was like, we got another 4 years before we hit the 20-year mark from him. Now, to be fair, I'm not familiar with the Favre era up here at all.
He was not a Vikings fan then.
No.
It was some season. And I'll just leave it there. All right, we're running way late.
We are. We've been very chatty and argumentative tonight.
So we're going to let everyone know there will be no question tonight.
Thanks, Jay. It's good to see you.
We are glad to have you here, Jay. We know that you're busy with other things, and we're glad you could be here tonight.
Yeah.
We need to pick 3 stars, and then we have to do our X factors and all kinds of good stuff yet. So, Cora, who is your star of the game?
I'm gonna go with Dallas Turner because he exploited a really bad offensive lineman.
Well, I would kind of figure that's who you would take this week. And we'll get to that in a minute.
Heck yeah.
That's a good pick. That's a fair pick. 7 tackles, 2 solos, 2 tackles for loss. Good pick. Who do you got, Dan?
Nobody.
Cashman.
How can you not? Another.
I mean, he's just right now. He's Mr. Consistent, and that's what we are lacking so much on both sides is just consistency, and he has been Mr. Consistent. 15 total, 6 solo, and he's just a solid rock on the defense.
He's been just, God bless. At least we have him. I'm just glad he's back.
Yeah.
I'm really just glad he's back. He's been as good as anybody can ask him to be. All right, who am I going to take this week? We have a couple of guys I could take, but I'm going to take Miles Price this week.
I like it.
172 total return yards.
Didn't fumble.
Would have had more except for the penalties.
Yep. He shortened the field again. I like when he runs north and south and he protects the ball. And since our offense is not good and our defense is meh, I decided to get, strangely enough, a special teams guy, despite the fact that they were the ultimate.
Special team is legitimately awful.
Yeah.
But
you can't go at 56-yard kickoff returns with a 1-point lead. But
yep.
All right, let's move on to the X factors. This is actually pretty easy this week. Dan had McCarthy. We talked in depth about his problems.
Yep.
I took my kicker, Will the Thrill. He really didn't have a chance to do much. So, very easy one this week. When a former Viking Hall of Famer praises him, I think it's got to be Dallas Turner. 7 tackles, 2 solos, a sack, 2 tackles for loss. Really good. He continues to develop. So, Cora, very nice choice by you this week.
Thank you.
You pick up your second win to tie you with your husband at 2 apiece. And now that also gives you the privilege of going first this week. Who do you got for the Packers game for your X Factor?
I'm going to go with Naylor. I'm going to go with Naylor.
He's been good.
I think he's been good, but also I mean, I just think that they'll be prepared against the Packers and will, win on the Packers field. And I think Naylor will have a piece of that. Just because we beat the Lions in Detroit, we beat the Bears in Chicago, I think we'll beat the Packers, and I think Naylor will be an important piece to that.
All right.
Yeah.
I get to go next because I still have the most wins. Hanging in there now. I haven't heard his name a lot lately. And I think we're going to need to hear this name on Sunday do some things. I'm going with Isaiah Rodgers.
Okay. I like it.
He hasn't really done a lot. Like, okay, he was in on the block kick the week Levi Drake Rodriguez was the player of the week. But we really haven't heard a lot from him lately. And I think he needs to return to where he was in like week 3 kind of thing. So I'm going to take a flyer and go with Isaiah Rodgers this week.
I like it.
All right, Dan.
I chose his.
Yeah.
He always takes Naylor though.
I know.
Well, it's a solid pick.
It is. That's why I chose it.
So I think it's got to be, man. I'm in between Darisaw and Van Ginkel. I think Van Ginkel's got an opportunity there to do more with his kind of short yardage containment that he's really good at. But I also think that Darisaw's got a tougher matchup against the Packers defensive line than he did against the Bears.
If he can hold, is Micah Parsons on that side or is he on O'Neill's side?
He goes back and forth.
If he can hold Parsons,
and that's kind of where I'm at is it's with Parsons gonna be moving back and forth across the line. I think I'm gonna go with Van Ginkel.
Well, when Naylor's not there, that's usually your second choice.
Yep.
I know, but it's also because of like, it's in that kind of wheelhouse of the Packers. Like when we've watched the Packers and rooting against them, is Love is throwing a lot of little dump off passes, or he gets these little kickouts out of the pocket that I feel like that's where Van Ginkel shines. He's like, Love is quick, but he's not as quick as Caleb Williams, where he outruns Van Ginkel. I think Van Ginkel can chase him down.
Okay.
Hardback? Do we know?
Oh, I don't know. I was going to check that. I forgot to check. Yeah, I think it's got to be Gink.
Okay.
I do think O'Neill and Darisaw. I think they're going to need to have a good performance, but I think Van Ginkel's going to have a better game against Jordan Love.
Okay. We will give him to you. All right, I got to move through this quickly.
Yeah.
Because we have some scores. I'm going to Valhalla back as quick as I can. We go back to December 7, 1986. To a frigid Lambeau field. And let me tell you, to find highlights from this game wasn't easy. The Packers would score first. Del Greco from 39 yards out, 3-0 Packer lead in the first quarter. Later on in the first, Darren Nelson for the Vikings, a 12-yard touchdown run. We missed the extra point. This was set up when Ike Holt blocked the punt. The Packers had a rookie punter, his first punt of his career, and it was blocked. So Vikings 6-3 lead in the first. Later on in this first quarter, it's their second touchdown, Tommy Kramer to Anthony Carter, 7 yards out. This one was set up when on their second punt formation of the day, the center for the Packers snapped it over the punter's head. And the Vikings picked it up short field, 13-3 Vikings. Second quarter, Del Greco makes his second field goal. Short one, 20-yarder. Vikings had a great goal line stand, and the Packers did something that doesn't happen anymore. They kicked a field goal on fourth down. So 13-6. Alfred Anderson for the Vikings bumps their lead to 19-6 on an 8-yard run in the third quarter. That's the second Vikings missed extra point of the game. This one was set up when Joey Browner recovered a fumble on the Packers' first play of the second half. Chuck Nelson finally makes a field goal, 28-yarder in the third. The Vikings go up 22-6. Then he makes another field goal, a 31-yarder in the fourth. The Vikings lead goes to 25-6. Ted Brown becomes the third Viking running back to score a touchdown in this game. 12-yard run after the Vikings recover a fumble. They make the extra point this time. Final score, Minnesota 32, Packers 6.
Let's go.
Nice.
Stats from this game. Tommy Kramer, 13 for 25, 153 yards, 1 touchdown, and a bad interception, but not a horrible game. Receiving-wise, our running back, Darren Nelson, 5 catches, 67 yards. On the ground, Nelson, 71 yards on 8 carries and a touchdown. Alfred Anderson had 46 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. The team, 35 rushes, 157 yards, and 3 touchdowns. On defense, sacks from Chris Dolman, Doug Martin, Keith Millard. Joey Browner would recover 2 fumbles in this game. Alan Rice had a fumble recovery. Why do I pick this one? 2 reasons. The Vikings had a rookie head coach that year. His name was Jerry Burns. He was the only rookie head coach in that season who finished over 500. He was 9-7. But the main reason I picked it, this is the largest margin of victory the Vikings have ever had at Lambeau Field, 26 points.
Nice.
Let's go.
And if they could make extra points, it would have been 28. And this is before they moved him back. These were 20-yard extra points.
These were the chip shots.
These were the easy ones. These were the gimmies, and he missed 2. But it was 28 degrees, and the field was a little slick, trying to give him a little bit. But a little quick note. So I looked up, trying to find highlights from this game, and there was a show called Vikings Tonight, I think it was called. And I find footage of this, right? It looks like an old VHS tape somebody had, and they recorded it. It's all grainy and everything, and they only had a few highlights, but they had Nelson and Keith Millard, I think, were both, or no, Scott Studwell was there.
Nice.
And Studwell's sitting there with glasses on. He looks like a professor, right? And it's like, this is our linebacker. It was kind of cool. And that was really the only set of highlights I could find from the game. And it was real grainy and rough footage, but enough to at least give me a feel for how the game was. Because I don't remember it. I know I was alive in 86 and I was a kid, but you don't remember every game they played. That's it for this week. Valhalla back.
I like it.
I like it.
Valhalla.
Now we need to make our predictions. Last week, Cora was the only one who picked the Vikings to win. Dan had them losing by a field goal, 24-21, and I had them losing by 10, 27-17. So, as always, Cora gets to go first. Ladies first. What do you got for this week's final score?
I have the Vikings winning.
Okay.
I think they're going to sweep our divisional opponents in their own turf. Now, at home, that's a different story.
Right.
I'm going to say 17-13.
Low scoring affair in Green Bay.
Yes.
I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I didn't look. It
is a hostile environment.
Yeah.
So
maybe
we need to make the bank hostile.
It's hard to make. They're hostile right in the bank. They're yelling at McCarthy.
Because
JJ, an entire state's worth of.
JJ performs well in hostile environments. Detroit, Chicago.
Minnesota's been pretty hostile, and
they did boo him.
There. Yeah, they booed him.
And then he scored the game. He scored a fourth quarter touchdown. We need to be hostile to our quarterback. That's my hot take. Okay. We got to be more hostile to our quarterback.
Be mean to the quarterback. There you go. Cora said it. Dan, what's your final score?
27-10, Green Bay.
Fair.
Blowout.
Yep. I do not have high hopes. It's one where I think it is going to be a matter of containing Love and containing how much he picks us apart.
I've watched Green Bay a little bit this year. I don't think their offense is all that great. It should be better. It's not.
I think the juggernaut of the NFC, I feel like it's just the Lions. Juggernaut.
Yeah, Love hasn't played spectacular football, and they haven't run the ball as well as I thought they could. That all said,
Green Bay winning.
Their offense is better than ours. and their defense is better than ours. So I don't think the matchups are all that great. I've got Green Bay winning 23-13 on Sunday. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game to watch. I just have a feeling it won't be.
Yep.
Because I don't think either team is all that great. Now, somebody could come up and surprise me. The Packers would be more likely to be the ones to come out and really click on all cylinders to me. But they got to play the games. What we say doesn't always happen. So hopefully something good happens for Minnesota on Sunday. If they lose this one and go to 4-7, I can see this season spiraling totally out of control.
I think they take it as a growth year. If we lose this one, we're completely out.
Yep.
I think if we lose, then we go fully on, maintain health and work on growth.
All right. We've had enough of this for 1 week. Now next
I'll
week.
talk about something happy tomorrow or happy next week.
Yeah.
Then don't argue with us.
Now for next week.
Gotta keep it interesting.
No, you don't.
For next week, I will not be available on Wednesday.
That's right. It is a holiday week, so adjusting the schedule is well within our rights.
So we may either you guys can do it by yourselves on Wednesday.
Do you want to listen to Dan and I argue the entire
Or-
time?
It will be argument the whole time, especially if it's anything like this week.
Or we can try and do a show on Tuesday night if we can work that out.
Let's go, Bob. I love the enthusiasm.
Bob, that's his final score prediction for the game, actually, 11-6.
No. Final score prediction and our final record for the season.
Bob's picking 11-6.
Love
So-
it, Bob.
For all of our loyals, we may be here Tuesday next week. We have to see what everybody else's schedule is like, the blind schedule, if that works for them.
Sounds good to me.
So for now, it'll be Tuesday night next week. We might have to do that again around Christmas as well. But
Yeah.
That's fair.
I would love to do it next week on Wednesday, but I will not have access to my laptop.
You're going to be with family, which is honestly more important.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think it'll work. I don't think we want to do it that way.
Yeah.
My family does not want to hear me talk about the Vikings for an hour and 5 minutes.
They don't want to listen to us argue for.
They don't want to listen to Dan and I argue back and forth.
But isn't that what Thanksgiving's all about? Family sitting around the table. and
It
arguing
is.
with
It is
each other.
about family arguments.
You too, Jay.
You too, Jay.
The only thing that would make it like really fully family, like a family Thanksgiving, would be a lot of alcohol at the table to really enhance the arguments.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we were arguing so much.
Did you have a couple drinks at a dinner
I
tonight?
had one.
One of the big ones.
All right, we can keep going. Where are you?
No. Take us out.
Ready? So.
See y'all next week.